Hello everyone, welcome back. Please comment, rate, subscribe, follow, comment, rate, subscribe, like the videos. Also share the videos. I want to thank everyone that does like, watch, and share my videos. You folks are the absolute best. Listen, folks, there's a link tree down below. Has links to all of my social media platforms. Please go down there, follow me across all my social media platforms, and talk to me because I'll talk back. Also down there as well as links to all of my YouTube pages. Please go down there, subscribe to all my YouTube pages, and turn on your notifications so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. Now, with that said and done and put to the side, I've come to talk to you folks today about Aaron Glenn. Oh yes, we got to have some discussion, baby. All right, Aaron Glenn, the New York Jets, offseason so far, right? Free agency, hasn't been what everybody's expected, all right? But here we are. Right, here we are, and Aaron Glenn talks about moving in silence, and we got to have the discussion. Please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, comment down below, and let me know what y'all think, all right? So, Aaron Glenn recently spoke to the media, all right? He sat down, had some discussion at those owners' meetings, and there's a lot of media that was questioning Aaron Glenn and the New York Jets about their approach to the offseason. Like, we know, right? We're Jets fans. We didn't really make any big splashes, right? There were guys out there that I was hoping to become Jets, and nothing happened, right? It just didn't happen. They never became Jets. And then when you looked at most of the guys the Jets signed, right? Pretty much all of them, they weren't big names at all. They were kind of like depth guys you were trying to fill out your roster with. And it kind of left us all like looking around like, okay, like what's going on? Like the Jets have some cash, like what's happening, right? And so when questioned about this by the media, okay, Aaron Glenn says, hey, the new approach for the New York Jets, in the offseason is moving in silence. That's what he said. And this approach is by design. He said this. This is what they want to do. They want to move in silence, and it's by design. And it's interesting. It's interesting, right? When you look at this Jets roster, there was some positions that they needed to address. And again, we got a draft coming up, right? We got a draft coming up. There's some moves that can still be made. They can pull a lot of young players in and continue forward. But when you look at the free agency and some of the guys they signed, it's been like, there were some players out there that, we were all looking to put on that green and white jersey, and I don't know, man, right? And then you look at the situation with some of the guys they signed. I'm not going to go over all of the guys, right? But I'm just going to go through a couple that kind of highlighted for me. Justin Fields being, to me, the top guy, right, that was brought in. I love this signing. I love that we got Justin Fields. He was a guy I was hoping for, especially, again, with Aaron Rodgers out the door. He's a guy that has a connection with Garrett Wilson. He's a guy that I think has a real chance to turn things around. We saw Sam Darnold leave the Jets, turn things around. We see what he's done in the league. We saw Geno Smith leave the New York Jets in a situation, go over there to Seattle, turn things around. We've seen guys not get it done or things not work out the first place that they've been, or sometimes even the second place that they've gone, but they've been able to get a chance with another team, right? And then they can just make magic. We saw that with Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill for years was called trash. Bounced around a little bit, found the Titans, and was their franchise guy, and really did some things with them, playoff pushes and all that stuff, right? So I think that Justin Fields has the ability, and he brings some real talent and some real explosiveness to the New York Jets offense. And I'm hoping he's able to turn it around here, because it would be beautiful. But I will tell you this one thing, though. It is crazy to me that Darren Moogie, the New York Jets general manager, when he spoke to the media, literally said that Justin Fields is the starter, hands down. Is the starter. And this is why it's a little crazy to me, right? When you look at where the New York Jets were, Aaron Rodgers is gone, everybody was thinking, hey, Tyrod Taylor's a guy that can compete as well. Some people were saying, hey, he should be the starter. When they signed Justin Fields, which is beautiful, bring him into the building, there is no competition for the spot at all. It's automatically given to Justin Fields. I thought that was interesting. I really thought that was interesting. I'm not saying it's the wrong way to go. I was just like, whoa, okay. And Moogie also went on to talk about how he thinks that Justin Fields can have a resurgence here. So Tyrod, no competition. He's going to be the number 2 off the bat. And I'm very sure that the New York Jets are going to grab a young quarterback in this upcoming draft, whether it be in the first round or the second round. They're going to try to grab one of those guys. There's been a lot of talk about Milroe. There's been a lot of talk about Jackson Dart, all that stuff. And we'll be talking about that as things continue on. But here we are, right? Brandon Stevens. Listen, Brandon Stevens, I didn't like that signing very much. Brandon Stevens, he's a little shaky in coverage, right? Lacks ball skills. Like he can get cooked at times, but Aaron Glenn can coach him up, and I think get some things together with him. I think he'll be all right on the other side of Sauce. Andre Cisco coming from the Jags as safety. I think that was a solid signing. Rashad Weaver from linebacker, I thought was a good move, especially with C.J. Mosley. The Jets have moved on from him, so they needed a little help in that linebacker position. Okafor coming in. He's a guy I think is a depth guy. I don't necessarily want him to be the Jets starting right tackle. That's not what I want. But again, you got a draft coming up. They can bring a young guy into the building. You move Olu over there to left tackle where he should have been, But again, there was a lot of things going on last year. He, ended up playing over there, got hurt. He's going to come back from that injury, coming up soon, coming into next year. And things are going to look really smooth for him as well. So I'm excited. But the Jets have to address that right tackle position in the draft. I hope they do. Derek Nandi as well at defensive tackle. I like that signing, right? Another depth guy, but a guy you put on the other side of Quentin Williams. And I like that move as well. And they also got in Josh Reynolds as well. Former Lions wide receiver, has some experience with, Aaron Glenn and Tanner Engelstrand and these guys. So he's going to come into the building, play some wide receiver here for the New York Jets. So what's crazy about this whole situation is none of these players were made available to the media. None of them. I think to this point, Justin Fields still hasn't had an introductory press conference with the New York Jets. That's moving in silence. Like, you're not hearing nothing, okay? And Aaron Glenn was even asked about that, and he basically said, I'm paraphrasing, he said, listen, they don't need a big hoopla, okay, about what we're doing here. We're all about having these coaches get these players, creating an atmosphere to put them in positions to win. You know what I'm saying? And we're trying to create an atmosphere here that, a lot of these players probably aren't used to, and they're here to, handle business, basically. So, it is what it is. They're coming in and they're all business, So there were some free agents lost by the Jets as well. That has me a little worried a bit, right? We know the Jets have moved on from Devontae Adams. You got Allen Lazard. Moogie talked about Allen Lazard trying to restructure his contract. They're thinking about trying to keep Allen Lazard. These are the things I don't understand. I don't understand this move. Why are you trying to restructure his contract? Look, Allen Lazard, the Jets allowed Allen Lazard to seek a trade, okay? Nothing turned up from that. Why anybody want to trade for Allen Lazard, I have no clue. This is a guy that many times during his time here with the New York Jets led the league in drops, right? We talked about Allen Lazard, the lazy route running, the lack of effort, all that stuff, man, okay? Even when Aaron Rodgers was here, because at first it was, it's Zach Wilson, it's his fault. Then Aaron Rodgers come here and he still was stinking it up at times, all right? I mean, come on, man. Like, we should move on from Allen Lazard. Maybe he's a guy that gets cut later on down the road. But again, they're talking about trying to restructure his contract here. So, I don't know, man. I don't like Allen Lazard, and I don't understand why he's still on this New York Jets football team. And then we lost Tyler Conklin as well, which sucks, right? But we got Jeremy Ruckert. The Jets also signed a tight end too and got him in the building. So we'll see what happens going forward. This could be Jeremy Ruckert's season, right? He really gets his chance this year to, show that he can carry that position and do his business. Which Jeremy Ruckert, I think, could be a solid tight end for the Jets if given an opportunity and given targets. That was another thing the Jets struggled with, is utilizing their tight end position last year within the offense. So I'm also looking to see the New York Jets continue to add to the edge pressure, okay? What's going on with the edge rusher position? I think Za'Darius Smith is still a free agent at this point. Why the Jets have not brought him in, I have no clue, okay? But if he's still, to this point of things are moving and shaking, we need to sign Za'Darius Smith. So we're moving in silence. I want to know how Jets fans are feeling. How are you feeling, okay? Because I've talked to some Jets fans that are not happy about this, all right? I'm still trying to see what's going on, okay? I'm pacing myself because we still got the draft and there's still moves that could be made, okay? So comment down below. Let me know what you folks think. You folks have a good one. Peace.